Hello and welcome to my first build video, I guess. This is going to be a generic build video, more for like everything PvE. I'm not a PvP player. So this build that I've been working on is based around an assault rifle. And as you can see, it does pretty decent DPS against red enemies. Now purple enemies. Not as good a DPS, but as you can see, it's still doing almost 400 DPS. Then you get to elites. We're looking at about 1,000,000 DPS overall. About 500 to almost 700,000 against regular or named elites. So how do you build for this? And how will this build help everything in PvE? Well, let's look at the equipment real quick. So first off, I'm using a military AKM. This is the best assault rifle that I have, which is why I'm using it. It is a 7.62 assault rifle, and as a result, we'll see when we go into the mods that I'm actually losing out on a little bit of damage to elites. Talents are close and personal. Killing a target within 7 meters grants plus 50% weapon damage for 5 seconds. On harder content, especially group content, right now the AI is bugged and pretty much everyone just rushes you, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of killing enemies pardon me, in PvE at less than 7 meters. Also Allegro for 10% rate of fire. In rhythm, that's nothing. I could change that. I might, want to put skills have better duration. Let's see. No, not that one. So this is what I mean. Like, I don't have a lot of assault rifles right now. So anyway, that's the initial thing, and you see it does 24.6k damage right now with 660 RPM. Now you'll notice on my gear, I have 4 damage to elites and 2 weapon damage. So on my mask, this mask is actually a higher gear score, but I get slightly more damage to elites with this. I hold on to this because that has a very large damage to elites on it. I would like to find out, I don't know if Badger Tough can actually roll with damage to elites as a talent. I don't know if it can at all. Because if you put at least one Badger Tough on, you're going to get another plus 7% damage to elites. So, but for now, I've got Wyvern Wear. My chest, Fenris Group. For this build, because I am using an assault rifle, I at least want one Fenris Group piece for the 10% assault rifle damage. And as you can see, I've got headshot damage, bonus armor, and critical hit chance. I'm probably going to try to change one of those to either assault rifle damage or just plain old weapon damage. And I have Unstoppable Force. Killing an enemy grants 2% weapon damage for every 10,000 max armor. So you see I have 215,000 armor. So it should be 44%, but I think it's actually bugged. It's only doing 1.5. Still helps. And then hard hitting. And then I have defensive protocol mods on just to get enough basically for the unstoppable force. My holster is Wyvern Wear. It just has skill power. It's not a, you know, I could have went with this one, also skill power. This one, critical hit damage and health. I could probably change one of those, raise this gear score, and I'd still have the devastating. Devastating is 5% weapon damage, and I'm going to show you why this is important. So just basic weapon damage. My knee pads are Gila Guard. So I keep hearing people say Gila Guard. You don't say Gila Monster. It's Gila. Gila Guard. You get the 5% total armor and damage to elites. I'd like to get something here with because I have a few with patience. Patience is also good, but I'd lose 15% damage to elites, and I'd have to find a way to put it on without losing my weapon damage. My gloves, again, they're China Light, marksman rifle, and assault rifle damage. I believe that assault rifle damage is capped, but it also has devastating for another 5% weapon damage. And then my backpack. Now, technically, I could use this one for a higher gear score. However, I actually... wait, maybe I could still. But it doesn't have the damage to elites. I like this one, actually, because it has the weapon damage and it also has efficient as well as damage to elites. But the problem is it only has an offensive slot, and I would actually end up losing my ability to use unstoppable force because I don't have enough defensive without this backpack. So let's look at the stats. As you can see, I have every talent except for Safeguard on. I might try to see about switching that out to something else. It's not really helping me. So anyway, I do 24, 564 weapon damage. I have a 10.5 crit. Assault rifle builds don't use crit very often, so don't worry about that. 32% crit hit damage, 66 headshot damage, 40% accuracy, and 40% stability. Now you notice I have 18.5 all weapon damage bonus and 36% assault rifle damage bonus. So that means with my assault rifle, I'm doing 54.5% extra damage. And then I also have 89% damage to elites. Now this is where it gets important for building for PvE. For PvE, you need your all weapon damage and whatever your main weapon that you're using. God damn this cough. Whatever your main weapon that you're using, you want damage there. And there's multiple ways that you can do it. If we actually go back and look at my my gear, not that one. So here you see I have an offensive with 2.5 weapon damage. That one doesn't have it. Another one with 0.5 weapon damage, but it also has 4% assault rifle damage. You'll have to forgive me. I had part of my lung removed recently, so I'm still healing. That's what this cough is from. So by doing it this way, you help yourself in PvE, because you'll hear some people say, no, just go damage to elites. Just get it up over 100%, you're good. That's great when you have a lot of elites that you're dealing with. Reds, with an assault rifle, you don't have to worry about reds too much, only because they have the health damage, and reds don't have any armor. But when it comes to the veterans, the purples, that's where you're going to have your problem. If you don't have the bonus damage for all your weapons and or your main weapon, that's where you mess up and you can't kill the purples, because it just takes you too long to get their armor down. So I would recommend for PvE trying to get that all weapon damage and whatever your main weapon is to be at least 50%, if not more. And then to get your damage to elites up above 80%. If you can get it higher, go for it. And as I said, there are ways to do this. If you actually look at your mods, let's see, let's get to an offensive one. So here you see you can get weapon damage, weapon handling, weapon damage, weapon damage, weapon damage, weapon damage, weapon damage. Not a lot of weapon damage, and this one I wouldn't recommend it over the other one that I have that has the assault rifle damage. Weapon, see this one you can get 1% assault or weapon damage and 4% assault rifle damage and 1% damage to armor. So let's see if I can put that on that one piece. Which piece had it? Alright. So now when we look at my stats, now I have 19% and 36%. So I'm doing 55% damage, and I still have my damage to elites. So, but you're going to have to go through each of your equipments and see what sort of mods you can put on them. Remember, equipment mods don't require skill power. So that's the good thing. And you can go in and, you can find the weapon mods that you like. See, there's 2%. And the other way that I got my assault rifle damage up was I'm using the sharpshooter. So that gives me an additional 15% assault rifle damage. And so as you can see, you do pretty good. I'm getting over 1 million DPS if they're close enough. And I'm hitting them in weak points. So this will help you in PvE. I'm actually going to put in a little thing. I got jumped by 3 elites in the sewers. And one of them was one of the, the big boys with the chainsaw from those freaky dudes underneath the sewers. And I just ripped them apart in no time with this build. It helps in the group play on hard and challenging. Haven't done heroic on this character yet, but it definitely helps. If you want to build for PvE, okay, then you want to get, like I said, you want to get as much weapon damage as possible, and then as much bonus damage to whatever your main weapon type is. So if you're running an LMG, you're going to want to get that up. If you're running submachine gun, you want to get that up. Marksman rifle or rifles, you can get all that up. You want to get those up to at least 50% combined with the all weapon damage, as well as having 80 plus damage to elites. That 1% armor damage, I don't even know if that's working. As far as I know, damage to armor is not working right now, so don't take that with anything. But as you can see, this works pretty well. Um, in groups, it's been really easy for those, when I'm in a group with with people that have decent damage to elites and decent pardon me, and decent weapon damage. We've gone through challengings where we have just ripped through the final boss in seconds. Like less than 10 seconds with just like 2 people focusing on him. So anyway, I'm going to throw in that clip of me getting jumped by those elites, and then I will catch you later.
Hostile control point.
They're all elites, huh? Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. Either way, I'm good. Also, if you enjoyed the video and wish to help support in making more, consider visiting my Patreon page located in the description below. And again, thank you very much.